Anyhow, on the bottom left corner of Royal Blood, have in orange is the Terran player from Nocap. It is Anggrath.
And in the northeast corner, from PigPan, we have our Protoss player, TheQuestion.
Pylon indicates that TheQuestion doesn't care about Reaper walls. They are overrated and useless, in his opinion. Directly quoting the players, I am.
The Roddy, the Roddy theory of Reaper walling.
Well, Roddy doesn't wall ever again, except in PvZ, because you simply cannot win without wall.
Right.
Double guess from our Terran player. It's either gonna be very defensive or very aggressive, depending on the strat. I don't see anything coming out so far for Anggrath on the other side of the map, so it's probably going to be defensive, but it could also be a tech rush of some description. Probe being as annoying as usual. We all know how Terran players hate this probe. In idle at the moment, but usually.
Yeah, I'm a Zerg player and I hate the probe harass early in the game with the minerals. I can't imagine dealing with it trying to build a building this early in the game. It'd just be so annoying.
The fun part is, it's even more annoying for the Protoss player to actually get the probe to attack the SCV, because every time he phases through the building to switch position, the probe loses track of the SCV and you have to manually target.
That's one of the hardest things about stopping the 2 or 3 racks all in against Zerg, I think, too.
There's also
being able to target that SCV.
Yeah, there's also a micro trick for Terrans, where you can stop the building, and rebuild immediately, so you don't lose any actual time, but you reset and you force the SCV to move. But it's
I've
very
seen Maru.
micro-incentive.
I've seen Maru make some godlike plays with that.
Yeah, you
saving
can
the building.
try and force, because usually it's random, but if you force it enough times, you usually get the position you want.
Super fast 3rd CC here from Anggrath before the starport.
Cutting Reaper going across the map. You will find a Stalker on the ramp just ready for it, and it doesn't stop, it doesn't go back, so it'll be very much bruised and dead. Let's say that's even better than textbook reaction for a Reaper coming into your base. Usually you're not supposed to get it.
At least he gets the scouts. He's the robo. I'm a Zerg player, so I don't know what the robo means in this matchup at this point, but it's not Twilight first.
It's not Twilight first, which means that it's this could very well be if we see a Twilight in the near future. No, it would be too slow anyway. Maybe a robotics ability to try and lift the Stalkers into the main, or just a robotics way for some sort of AoE.
2 base Colossus, maybe?
Usually you start with the Colossi because they scale better.
Right.
But you want the Disruptors as well for HRC. Defensive bunker on the low ground, and Anggrath is trying to go for a sneaky mine drop into the main, by the looks of it.
Seen some cut SCV production from Anggrath. The question is way up in workers already, and Protoss should be at this point, but not 13 workers.
Yeah, that's a
especially
lot
with 3 CC, you know.
We have 3 C, but
where is that 3rd CC?
Not the CC. I think we just.
Oh, it was it was just the 2nd CC. I thought he was already building one on the low ground. Okay.
No. It was a very defensive build from
Anggrath.
Now,
this could do huge damage.
Yeah, these mines can change the game. They are not scouting, and that's probably an 8er. 9.
And going to the natural with 1 more.
That's 4 to 5 more, but we have a good reaction time by TheQuestion this time around, who's not going to lose anymore. Probably going to kill both all 3 mines as soon as somebody gets to be sacrificed to the Widow Mine god. They have a god. Just roll. Oh, that's a miss rally by Anggrath. That's a painful miss rally. We have
Or are we following the SCV here?
we have 4 SCVs in the natural just stuck. 5, sorry. We haven't noticed so far. It's up to 7. The lazy count is growing.
The fact that he has those 2 sitting at the natural, just like sitting right in front of it, he should notice soon.
Yeah, usually you would notice if you.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh, there we
finally
go.
noticed.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a lot of mining time lost, but it's not unsurmountable. Also, we can see that Anggrath has recovered the worker count and it's now sort of equal, which favors, as usual, the Terran because they have mule. Oh, my question is, do we have extended thermal lenses? No, we don't.
We do not. No.
It was either the fastest thermal lenses I've ever seen in my life, or he completely forgot. The point is, Colossi are borderline useless when they don't have the thermal lens, especially against Terran. Because Zerg, they can still do something. It's an issue need to start with.
Yeah, and you know, if he gets thermal lance here, I love the 2 base push here. There aren't that many marauders.
We would
But
be still
oh, there it
lacking
is.
some meat from a Protoss player to try and push, because it's just Stalkers and Colossi. I don't think
Yeah,
it's a good army. It's just so flimsy. As soon as the enemy viable manages to connect with your army, basically dead.
Yeah, he is getting thermal lance now, and I agree with you. Maybe I'd love to see maybe 1 or 2 more sentries.
2 sentries would be fine, but what I would really love is a Twilight Council and charge.
Here comes a move out from our Terran Anggrath.
Don't really have the minerals to do that, and it seems like TheQuestion doesn't really want to expand so far, so probably this is the best army composition he can get on 2 bases.
Do we have a shield battery in the natural?
I don't think we do.
Oh
We
boy.
just have a sentry. We have 3 Colossi.
3 Colossus though.
They don't have extended thermal lenses, but oh, fine, survives on 4 HP. That's always painful.
He's got an observer. Is it still in the natural?
You need to chrono the thermal
Where's that
lenses.
observer? Oh, he lost the observer. The mine must have killed the observer when he brought it over to kill the mine in the natural.
My question is expanding. How mad must you be to try and expand?
Cancel. Okay. We lost the pylon, but we canceled the base.
That's a net 300 mineral lost. Actually 250 because 1 probe was paired to tell the rest of the deceit of Terran.
Okay, we've got a observer out again.
And Anggrath knows that his army doesn't really beat 4 Colossi, but he really wants to confine his opponent on 2 bases, and is managing to do just that. We also have a double drop incoming.
Yeah, Angrath's working on that 3rd CC too. I'd love to see that on location in this spot, but at least it's starting.
I really love to, oh, come on.
Oh,
that
no
was
cancel.
not a cancel. I really love to see the balls from this player here.
Anggrath needs to get out of here.
Yeah, Anggrath needs to go yesterday. We finally have the forge from Protoss. We'll be able to finally get some tech going. Also, the 3rd is finally starting for real this time. Pro tip, do not start a 3rd in the face of your opponent's attack, because otherwise you will be in pain.
Yeah, still no Twilight from...
Oh my god, it never fixed the rally, Anggrath.
Oh my gosh, the SCVs.
Oh, okay, so on the other side though, some important things were happening.
I don't know about this fight. Oh, it'd be nice to have Blink here. Where's that Twilight? We need it.
I don't have a Twilight. Oh, and yeah. I'm really surprised, because usually you want either Zealots to try and tank for the for all the rest of the army, which is very flimsy from Protoss, or you at least need like Blink or something along those lines, or even DTs would be a good thing, especially on lower levels, to try and distract your opponent and force him to make mistakes. Oh, finally we do have a move out from the mass of idols SCV. Finally.
Basically full 3 saturated bases for Terran.
Yeah,
And
against...
Protoss just now getting that base up.
Yeah, Protoss is very behind in economy, but we don't really have an answer for the Disruptors nor the Colossi yet. We don't have Liberators. We have Ghost Academy coming up, but that doesn't really answer any of those. We have a few Vikings, and considering there's no Storm, no Blink, it's gonna be dicey for Protoss to try and defend.
Yeah, the Terran needs like 1 more minute. He just finished double reactor on the starport. I think he wants to go double reactor Viking to stop these Colossus, but it's too late. Here comes the Toss army.
And here it comes for real this time, and it's gonna deal a decent amount of damage, but they're forced back. Nice force field to try and engage, but
I'd love to see TheQuestion stay there and try to pick off some damage, because now those Vikings are going to get out and it's going to be a lot harder.
absolutely fair. I'm not sure he had to disengage that quickly. Maybe he could have just tried to kite more with the force fields and the Colossi. We do still have a double drop coming for Anggrath, who again stops in the middle of the map just to make me lose patience and move to something else to do before actually moving in. Alright, they might be able to snatch a Disruptor, which they don't, but fine. Plus,
Pick off the Robo, or not.
no.
It's the Disruptor.
The Disruptors walks into Marine Fire, that's always nice to see, for the Terrans at least. We finally have Blink, but it's way too few Stalkers in the main to try and defend, and we did lose a Disruptor and a Robotics. Painful to say the least, especially when you're trying to muster an army.
Yeah, and when TheQuestion was here last time in the Terran base, it was 5 Vikings. It's now 13 Vikings, with 2 more on the way.
13 Vikings against 5 Colossi. I think the Colossi will die very quickly, and they will not be in the fight too much. But we do have a sizable amount of Stalkers. Now, keep in mind that Stalkers die to a stiff breeze, so they're not the best combatant, especially against Marauders, but they can still try and pack a punch.
Yeah, first Ghosts are coming out too, which are really gonna make this army even flimsier.
For real, this army doesn't really have Marines in it. It's mainly Marauders and a few Ghosts mixed in. The 2 armies pass by each other.
Look at all these Vikings. Oh no!
Oh my. Like
Classic.
ships in the night.
Classic right here.
Yep.
We need Terran recall stat.
Well, somebody has to recall, that's for sure. As this base gets attacked, it's a planetary fortress, but the firepower from Protoss is simply bearable.
Alright, Question's going for the base trade.
Alright, he knows that.
Oh, recall.
Oh, recall. Right into the enemy army, and the...
Where are the Vikings? We need the Vikings! They're all to the left, just sitting there. I guess it doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter. We just had a half recall, which wasn't enough to actually do anything.
Oh.
Ooh,
The
Zealots.
Vikings are just sitting under Stalkers.
Finally, Zealots, who are very good against Marauders, and the rest of the army is coming very slowly and picking
We're
up.
literally losing all the Vikings.
Vikings still manage to snatch a few Colossi, but... And at the end of this fight, I have no idea who's ahead or behind, because that was such a messy fight. We had Protoss lose his natural, but at the same time he was able to rebuild a 4th, and he didn't really lose too much army. At the same time, we have a Terran who lost just 1 base. It's not the natural, so there was nothing beside the mining value. But he lost most of his army. But at the same time, Terran also replenishes his army quicker, because
he lost all the Vikings. He's rebuilding those now. But there's only 2 Colossus to contend with now, so it's not as big of a deal.
yeah, that would be painful, but with 5 Vikings against 2 Colossi, it's doable. EMP hitting most of the army. Disruptor whiffs and whiffs again. Actually gets one. Big stim, no push forward, and the disruptors are just walking to their deaths, and the stalkers simply do not have the firepower to contend with the marauders. Anggrath gets the win.
GG.